Hey, yo, dude, what's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's really quiet though. Is there any way you can turn it up?
Oh, it's quiet, so
Yeah.
I can better.
Uh, still, it's still a bit quiet. It's kind of hard to hear what you're like. If you talk for a while, it's gonna be hard to hear what you say.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me? Is this good?
It doesn't sound like it's changing.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Usually it's pretty good.
I turned you up myself as well to max volume, and I feel like if it's dead silence, I'll be able to hear you.
Okay.
But
Okay. There you go. That should maybe.
uh,
Hello. Hello.
so here's the thing. I'm gonna make this a VOD, right? And if you watch the VOD, you're gonna probably not understand half the shit you say, because it's like
Okay.
it just sounds muffled and quiet.
I haven't had this issue. Um, you probably have a lot to. You usually have a lot to say anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So this could be a one-way thing.
If like how loud you're speaking right now, if you speak like that, like very like, you know, full on, you'll probably I can understand what you're saying. But if you're like if you speak kind of softly, I will not hear what you say probably.
Okay, I will speak with my projected voice.
Yes. All right, sounds good, dude.
Okay,
All right, so
perfect.
I'm going to go to channel ViBE on North America right now, and or what the fuck? Why can't I do it? It like automatically makes me go to the vibrator. Okay, just go to guys, go to channel ViBU,
Oh, yeah.
ViBU. All right, and or you can just message me on BattleNet as well if you want to message my account right there. I posted it. It's a vibe hashtag 1578. But yeah, Hignith. You can type in the Discord if you want your details, so I can send you a message, or you can do the same thing.
Okay,
Join the channel, or just send me a message, and I'll get it going. I'll get it set up for you.
okay.
So
Yep.
before we start this, if you wouldn't mind, tell me a little bit about like your what you think your gameplay is like, and what you think you want to improve on the most, and what kind of like your goal is for this.
So I feel like my mechanics are like pretty good. I used to be masters back in Wings of Liberty, which I know it's not as impressive as the masters today because a lot of the bad players quit since then. I've noticed. So um, I feel that my mechanics are pretty good. I just don't know what to do a lot of times, and I'm just like, well, I have a bunch of money, I have a bunch of bases, I have no idea how to kill this goddamn army.
Okay.
So it's more for me like starting like playing again. Actually, thanks to your GM, Bronze to GM series. Um, so I started playing again, and I just don't know how to deal with all the units.
Okay.
Like I didn't know. Like an example is, I'll have a wall, and I'll have those whatever Protoss units. They'll shade through my wall. I'm like, well, I didn't even know they could. GG, stuff
Uh.
like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like are getting there again. Not perfect, but um, just it's good. I thought it would be good to kind of be like, all right, this is how you deal with this. This is how you deal with that. To kind of get my mind in the right frame. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, like you're just trying to like learn all the units as time goes on, and kind of like figure out what works, what doesn't work. Um.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So well, is there any like play style specifically that you like to go for? Like, are you like a Ling player, Roach player?
I've been doing Ling Bane Hydra a lot. Really, it's kind of like a cheese I can macro behind because Terrans are always going BC. Um, like it's not a good build. It's not like I want to be able to do macro, but I feel like if I get that third base, four Hellions are gonna wreck it.
Sure.
So or early pressure in general, I have issues with, but that third base.
Are you at all comfortable with are you comfortable with like Ling Bane Hydra?
Hydra, you said?
Yeah, Hydralisk instead of Muta.
I'm comfortable. I haven't done it much, but yeah, I actually love Hydras generally.
Because I would say if you're struggling to make things work and you're trying to go Ling Bane Muta, and sometimes it's getting a little bit more technical and it's falling apart here and there, Mutas are actually way higher of skill cap unit than Hydras are, and if you want to work on like all your stats as a player, basically, Hydras would make it way easier for you to get comfortable doing a proper build. And make everything flow easier because it's way more movable. And then once you get really comfortable with it, you could interchange the Hydras out back into Mutas once you feel like you're more advanced. And then, so if you really like Mutas, you could go back to it. But I think learning Mutas is really difficult. Like it.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I'm bad at Mutas. Like, I Magic Box, like, I'll wipe out, 5 Archons with gaggle of Mutas and destroy the, basically, I can Ling Bane Muta to bring up my MMR, and then I'll practice, roach into whatever have you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into the late game, and my MMR will drop. I'm like, oh, I'm dropping it.
Yeah.
Ling Bane Muta again, or 12 pool. I'm also really good at 12 pool.
Nice.
Like, above average for sure.
12 pooler.
I love the 12 pool ability you showed where you go into hatch directly, because sometimes, even I'll win games where, I'll 12 pool, do 0, and come in with units. So
Nice.
But this is low MMR, I know. But so I'll do that to bring my MMR back up. But to play like a standard Zerd, I always just die that really for that.
Yeah. I think what I was talking about as well earlier with the Muta, like I bet you especially if you say you were masters before, I would not doubt that you can micro the Mutas and stuff like that and make them work and everything. But I think one of the biggest, most difficult things to overcome with Muta is to not deviate too much of your attention to making them work, and then neglecting the rest of your base and the rest of your expansions and your tech, all your macro elements to playing the game. Because with Muta, you really have to be active with them for them to be worth it. But if you're being too active with them and you're neglecting your own base, it kind of makes it not worth it. I think that's the most difficult thing about Muta.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's really up to you. You can play however any style you prefer, and I will I'll help you through it and give you some ideas on how to improve what you're doing. But yeah, I think just off of personal experience, Hydras are way easier to alleviate your attention to properly going step by step to every piece of the build. Mutas are way more intense on if you make one mistake with them, you could throw the game because you could just fly over a bunch of stim marines or something and you're like, oh well, that sucked, and then the game is really hard to recover from something like that because you just invested so much into it.
Right.
So
yeah, that's another difficulty for me.
Also
Karen
chat
seems to be playing more like Zerd now, where they get base.
Anybody want to play? Get on.
Just keep steamrolling. So I have trouble with that. I'm like, I run
Diamond
out
2,
of
Diamond
water.
1.
I keep clearing
Terran
all
Protoss.
I run out of water. I'm like, oh shit, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So that, and also another thing is, I guess queen management. I don't know what you do. I've been trying to watch what you do, but you have your creep queens and you have your base queens. I need to find out a good way of doing that, I guess.
Sure.
I usually have everything on one hotkey, but I'm trying to hotkey again because I kind of use Ling Bane Muta as a crutch. I don't really creep as much, and I kind of go for a mid-game game enders, so I haven't really focused on it as much. That's just another thing I've been having issues with.
Okay. Yeah, for me, probably the biggest thing is I use camera hotkeys, and I do not know if you use camera hotkeys, but
no, I don't actually.
You don't? Okay. Well, one way there's a couple ways you can inject. One way is you can just do the base rotation, camera rotation, and then to where you just cycle through your hatcheries and inject that way. Another way you can do it is with just double tapping a control group for your queens. This is old school.
Clicking on the mini map.
Okay.
And then I could stay on the front line.
I would say for efficiency, camera hotkeys might be something to look into in the future. They're actually massively convenient, but
are they default? What are those anyway?
So default, it's F keys. It's I think
okay.
I don't know what I've changed mine a long time ago. I can't remember, but default I believe is like you just go to hotkey's global camera and then you scroll down and it's the yeah, I have it on stream too. So if you want to look at it on stream, you can see what I'm seeing. But it's yeah, just hotkey's global camera and then it's create and jump to location, and that's how you do it. But yeah, like camera hotkeys will definitely, and you don't have to have like 8 camera hotkeys. This is, and also if you want to try it, I would recommend having 3. You could have a main base, a natural base, and a third base. And then the way I inject is I literally hit like my camera hotkeys main, grab my queen, natural, grab my queen, third, grab my queen, and it's real. I can inject my hatcheries in like 1 second. And it's also really easy to defend my bases too. This way, because I can jump between bases really easy. I don't have to like cycle through the hatcheries or click the minimap. It's just faster.
Right. Alright, yeah, it's something I need to focus on. That'll take some work. I'll look into the camera on.
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to get
Yo,
that.
somebody want to play? All right, so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try as well, really quickly. If you can set something up if you want to, but I'm gonna try and get this going here where somebody's gonna get online. I don't know if someone's already online, but yo, chat. Somebody, if you want to play, join. Just literally log into North America and type /join space ViBE, and then you can see me typing in there, and or you could type in there yourself. I'll invite you to the game, or message me, and that is my account details right there, ViBE1578. Yeah, and then what I'm looking for here is a Diamond 3 or Diamond 2 Terran or Protoss. Terran or Protoss. That's what we're looking for, boys. Rob, you gonna play? All right, let's do it. Okay, I got an opponent for you. Yeah.
What rank? What rank is this guy?
I think he's in the diamond range. He says wait, is he not gonna play now? Okay, he's not gonna play. Just kidding. He says he's a Zerg only, so never mind. I'll get on Diamond 2 Terran. Okay, cool. Okay. Diamond 2 Terran. We got one. I'm sorry, dude. This is the struggle of live games. It doesn't. Yeah, takes a little bit longer to set up. All right.
No worries.
Ultra Hugs. Jump on and send me a message, or literally just you can like I said, you can add me here, my details on top, or you can give me your details. It's much easier if there's a GM out, because like you guys could just message me from the GM list, but it's like impossible to find people in Master League because there's so many different leagues, divisions, whatever. Anyways, I think I have a good general idea of your gameplay. I think that for cleaning up your play, I think clicking on the minimap is one of the worst ways to inject, in all honesty. And
yeah, I know.
And the reason why is because it just takes so much time. Like you have to precisely click kind of where the hatchery is, and it just
a pixel, yeah.
Yeah. Like if I could just imagine you flying your mutas around. Like this is what I picture in my head. You're like, all right, I got like 16 mutas. I'm gonna go harass the guy, and then suddenly, you know, your muta, like you're like, oh, I need to inject though, and then you're like, oh wait, my mutas are all dead now because it took so long to inject my hatcheries.
Yeah.
All right, Ultra Hugs. Which one is your account? Sorry, I have like 15 friend invites at the moment. Let me know. All right, there you go. Boom. It's so easy. Okay, he invited me. This guy is on the ball. There we go, dude. Ultra Hugs, you're amazing. All right. So, Ultra Hugs, let me know when you're ready. And Mr. Higdith, if you don't mind me calling you Higdith, are you ready?
Yeah, you can call me 1B. That's more accurate.
Sorry, say that again. I couldn't understand.
1B.
1B. Okay, 1B.
Yeah.
All right, 1B. 1B.
And Ultra's on Zerg. Is he playing Zerg?
Wait. Yeah, Ultra Hugs. We're looking for. Yeah, I thought we were looking for a Terran or a Protoss.
Okay, he switched.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Perfect. All right. He's ready. You ready? You good to go? Sorry. One last confirmation.
Go.
Okay. All right, so last question as we're starting here. Would you like me to kind of just make notes of your gameplay and tell you after, or do you want me to actually talk to you during the game?
I think strategically, notes are good, and then we can go into details after.
Okay, yeah.
Right, it looks like this or
Yeah, it sounds good because I know talking can be really distracting if I'm telling you stuff during the game and you're like, okay, ViBE, you're I'm trying to focus here. I know it can be really annoying sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So we'll talk about it after for sure.
The connection isn't like the best right now. I think like.
All right. Nice. You got this, dude. You focus. You focus up. I'm gonna talk just for the sake of the VOD, but good luck, dude. We'll talk about it after, and we'll break it down.
For sure.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are in a coaching lesson with Mr. 1B over here. I'm going to watch the game from literally his perspective. I want to see exactly what he's doing.
I'm gonna get off the call.
He got off the call. Okay, that's fine. No, it's all good. Yeah, no worries, dude. We'll restart the call later. But yeah, this league is it's Diamond 2, Diamond 2 to Diamond 3, basically. He's mid to low Diamond. And we're looking at some Zerg versus Terran right now. And yeah, man, we're gonna see how it goes. What server is this on? This is on West. Are we winning? We're gonna find out, right? So this is a live coaching game. These are a little different than replays. I usually honestly I prefer replays because I think it just goes better with the pacing. I feel like for somebody's time, it probably makes more sense for a replay because we can get way more thorough for longer. But I really don't mind. I'll do a live coaching as well. It's a different feel for sure. So yeah, we're gonna definitely be everything I see we'll be talking about. Only a referee. Oh, I have to unpause it. Sorry, boys. All right. So we got a nice like this. The hatchery timing is so far pretty standard. Pool timing is pretty standard. I like that he's going pool first as well. If he wants to go for macro, I like. You can totally go gas first as well, but if his plan is going for a defensive speedling into a third base, I think going for a gas after is fine. I think his gas is actually a little bit too late though. Like going gas after pool is fine, but he went gas like well after. This is like almost like a roach build now. Where you go like fast layer. So I'm gonna say gas timing build should be 17, 17, 17. And his gas was around 20. Or it was actually around like 19. It's just a little late. His gas was when the pool's like 40% of the way done. It's pretty fucking late. It's like 15 seconds late. We have a drone saturation 2 per patch. Drone saturation looks fine. We're making queens. We're going to see what he does with the gas. We're also going to see what he does with Overlord. But if he's going to go for non-Baneling bust or non-roach timing, he should definitely stop mining gas with either all 3 or 2 drones right now. Also, do we have lings being made? We have no lings being made, so there should be also lings when 4 lings when pool's done.
Game paused.
It's always a for sure thing. For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. So we're missing some lings, boys. I don't know where he's from. The game is being played on West though, So if he's like East Coast, we could remake with a different server. I don't know. If he's lagging for internet reasons, that sucks. That's bad, unfortunate timing. But if he's lagging for the game delay in the game, I can always just change the server. Okay.
Game resumed.
All right. Okay, so he is still mining the fuck out of that guy. Like, this game is, I feel like it's kind of falling apart already. And, you know, this is going to be hard to give an analysis for. The build is literally off the rails. It is so fucking off the rails. So we got a layer going up really fast. We're rushing tech. This is definitely not optimal. If this is becoming an all-in is what this is what's happening. This is putting the Zerg, and there's a third going down. So these are two different builds being pushed together right now. What's happening is we're going for a fast layer, which is only going to benefit the Zerg if you do damage, but you reduce your chances of doing damage if you also want to go for a third base. Because you're going to just have less power, your timing is going to be delayed. So I would say if the plan is to go for a third, you definitely want to stop mining gas at 100 with either 2 or all 3 drones and just focus on making more drones and lings and queens while you take a third. If the plan is you want to go for a timing with your layer, going for a layer is fine, but you do not take a third really fast with that. You take a third after you're like all your gases are taken basically, and whatever timing you're going for, you commit to it. Committing to a timing with layer is not as good as it was, by the way, in Wings of Liberty. It's definitely fallen off in Legacy of the Void because of how Legacy of the Void works with how the gameplay is. Legacy of the Void is less resources per base. It means you expand faster because you run out of your resources quicker, and the playstyles for Legacy of the Void now is also more map control-esque style builds. Muta, like going for like fast mutas essentially. Like we'll see what he does, right? I don't know what he's going roaches. Okay. So we'll just disregard what I was gonna say because it doesn't matter now. He's going for roaches. He's not going. I thought he might have been going for a muta rush. Going for 2 base roaches here. And Banes. I don't know. There's better. I feel like there are much better ways to play it. If the plan is to go for roaches into Ling Bane, going for more drones earlier on, more queens earlier on, is going to be a much more effective way to do it. What I'm seeing right now, what it looks like, what I think is going to happen, is he's going to open with some roaches, and then he's going to transition to Mutiling. I don't think he's actually going to commit the roaches, and if he doesn't commit the roaches, this range upgrade for weapons is a mistake. Yeah, there's just no defense because it's the reason why there's no defense is because there was like hiccups throughout the way of the build went. There was a period where there was only drones. There was tech being thrown down. There was like a layer. There was delayed everything else. He went for a third. It got shut down the first time by a Reaper. Then there was an over drone. We have 25 drones here. This is way too fucking many. I know he was gonna try and saturate his third, but he was doing that with like no units. So the build just has a weird order to it, and there's a lot more ways we can clean it up. And I think focusing on a later layer and a later just a later layer, literally, like everything revolving around a layer should be delayed a little bit more, and more of a focus on queens and roaches earlier on, and you're fine. Like the only benefit we can really see here that we have because of a layer is the fact that we have roach speed right now, and roach speed is not actually doing anything. Because we're not being aggressive. We might be aggressive now, but this was not the original plan, right? The original plan was to take a third base. So the defensive roaches do not need roach speed really fast. It's not needed, and fucking up our own economy for roach speed doesn't really do anything besides hurt ourselves, more or less. Yeah, this the resource. This is the biggest thing too, right? The resources definitely need to be kind of fixed here. We've had a base here that's could use some more drones, and we've had a base that's way oversaturated here, and a fourth gas has been missing. This attack it's kind of scary for Zerg here. Just because there's lack of info as to what's happening for the Terran. It's actually it's going all right, surprisingly. If there were any tanks here, this timing would fall apart. And the other thing that would be kind of scary is if the Terran was actually dropping the Zerg at the same time, you would lose all of your drones. There you go. There's the tanks. So the attack gets cleaned up, and now we're in a situation where we're just going to have to rebuild units again. And if we look at income tab, the Terran lost no workers to that. I don't know if the one SCV I think died was a scout earlier. I don't believe a single SCV just died just now. So now we have to be in the situation where if we throw our army away like that, we have to remake army. And remaking army means we're going to delay our workers even more, which is why we can see there's a clear disadvantage here with the supply. And then we're just going into the bleeding out process. So yeah, we're like, I think the game is becoming very impatient, and we're focusing too much on worrying about what the Terran's doing and not enough worrying about what we're doing. Like, this economy is a serious problem, right? This is a massive problem. This is like, okay, we fixed the main now, but there's a lot of inefficient mining going on, and just the build in general. The start of the build was we honestly got like no benefit out of rushing for a lair. It really didn't help at all. So the biggest thing we're going to go back and talk about is we're going to talk about the build. And I actually don't even think I'm going to analyze this replay. I'm not going to lie. I think that analyzing this replay is this is for the sake of the VOD, and also I'll let Higdith know this. Just for the sake of making it efficient with time, we're not even going to break this down afterwards. We're just going to talk about some key problems, and I'm going to give him a build. Because this build is unsalvageable for improving. I'm not gonna lie. This build will always put a Zerg behind. So we'll for sure we'll give him a build that he can work with. This build just feels like it's just randomness put together. It's too chaotic. And there's gonna be this clear problem of there's going to be a clear problem of not enough supply ever for Zerg, and the only way, this is the thing about the problem with roaches, is the only way you win with roaches is if you have an overwhelming supply. If the supplies were reversed, that would be the only way it would work. Alright, I'm going to get him back on the call. We'll talk about it really fast. And I know he was lagging, which is kind of frustrating. It kind of sucks, but yeah. Alright, so I think what I want to do is I want to... Oh, Higdith. Or 1B, sorry.
Yeah.
So...
No, that was... I had literally like 1 to 2 second lag.
Are you... Where are you currently living at?
I'm in Michigan. It was fine later on though. Like,
Okay.
Alright.
I just want to ask you a couple questions really quick. And I know it sucks that you were lagging, but just to get a clear idea of your gameplay. So first things first, when you're playing a standard game on your own, what do you normally do with the gas? Like, we're talking about like your initial, you mine the gas. What's like your initial plan with that? What are you usually going to do?
That's okay. I don't really know what to do with it.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I remember you mentioned hydras later on.
Sure,
so,
sure.
Okay, that'll add some gas.
Because
but I like to kind of bank it so that if I do get to hive, I guess, I can spend it on whatever, either investors or.
Okay, so
or
from that.
Like,
from that game, what I saw was it looked really, and I don't want to put too much emphasis on it, just because I know there was a lot, like, you know, you're lagging, it's distracting, you're popping in and out of Discord to mute it and leave the call stuff. So I know there's a lot of distractions, so I don't want to get too technical here, but I feel like that game, just from my perspective, there was like a layer rush plan, and there was also a third base plan, and those things do not go together. It was what looked like, from my perspective, was a build that looked like it was going to be all in, but then at the same time be macro. So what I kind of want to do, if you don't mind, is I want to take your place just for one game really quick, and you can stay on the call and you can ask me questions, but I'll play one quick game that'll be probably 8 to 10 minutes, and I will do the build that you kind of were doing, what it looked like you were doing. And what I thought your goal was going to be was you were going to open roaches and then switch into Ling Bane Hydra or something like that. Or were you just going to go roach Hydra the whole time?
Yeah, basically roach Hydra, but no, that transition you mentioned does make sense, yeah.
Okay. It's because I know you said you'd like to go Ling Bane earlier, so we can make a build that works like that if you'd like.
Yeah, that would, I mean, does that work very well?
It does, yeah.
Terran?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
No, that'd be good, because I know roach is good for initial defense, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Terran. It's the next stage where I'm just like, I don't need
All right, so I'm gonna make you a build right now, and then I'm gonna have you play it one more. Like, you do what you see. You're like, try to recreate it yourself afterwards. Okay. And then we'll go from there. And that, I feel like that'll give us a lot more of a solid game to work with, because the general reason why I think it's kind of like not going to be a great idea for us to go over the last replay we just saw is the build. Yeah, exactly. The build, the way it worked is your supply was always behind, just because of the inefficiency of how your build was set up.
Okay.
So we'll fix it up here. I'll give you a general idea of what you should, like, a game plan to go for, more or less.
Right, that sounds good. And you're not cutting in and out, so the lag is good now.
Okay, so perfect. Sounds good.
And I'm pretty sure the next time it'll be fine.
All right. All right. So he's meeting the stream, and then we're gonna get this going. Ultra hugs. Also, by the way, if you're listening still, or if you watch the VOD as well, thank you very much, man, for helping us out. Appreciate it. Shout out to Ultra hugs for the opponent. All right. But here's the game plan that I have, okay? This is how it's going to kind of roll. We're going to go for a third pretty early. We are not going to take a gas early, because if we're going to open roaches, you can actually delay your gas. That's just how roaches work. You only need to take a gas early if you go defensive speedlings or aggressive speedlings. But just speedlings in general is your gas, if we're talking about macro. So our gas is going to be delayed longer than normal. This is going to allow us to take a third fast while spending all of our larvae, and it's also going to allow us to use queens as defense.
Oh,
We will still make a couple of zerglings, but there's no intention of having speed. But the reason why we're going to make a couple of zerglings is because the Reaper, and if he goes into, like, it's only going to be like 4 to 6 lings. The Reaper, and also if he goes to Hellions, we can have them just kind of like get in the way and block the ramp or something. Just be annoying, but never leave the creep with them. So yeah, and then we'll go into, and then we're going to be going into roaches through the mid game, and then we're not going to get range upgrades, because we're going to switch into Ling Bane. So the upgrades we're going to get when we do get double evos is going to be melee carapace, even though we have roaches, because roaches are going to expire and they're going to be kind of gone, and you really want to have the power of your Ling Bane just be stronger than Hydra, because you're not going to make mass Hydras either with this kind of a style. Mass Hydras is kind of a trap. We're going to literally make like 20 Hydras and stop.
Right. So when do you build a third hatch?
We build a third hatch really early. We'll be going through the whole build here. So far we've done a 17 hatch. We can do like an 18 pool is fine. 17-17 or 17-18, either one works. So we went 17 hatch, 18 pool, and now we're going to be going for a 19 third hatch. So we're making our third base before the queens even start. And then, again, we're not taking gas with this. So that's the trade-off. That's going to actually allow us to still make queens and to still use our larva without having this inefficiency. Because if we took a gas right now with going for a third this fast, there is no way we would be able to do everything. There would be something that would not be able to be. We couldn't afford something in that part of the build. And the other thing too is if we're going to be going for roaches for defense, gas isn't going to be able to isn't going to kick in anyways for a little while for roaches. Like, it's just not going to. We're not going to make the roaches anyways for a while, so the gas being made right now would just be kind of a waste. So you can see we have 4 Lings in production now. And we scouted the Terrans going for a natural with our Overlord. They got a reactor on the barracks. Everything's looking super standard. We have Lings. These are the Lings we're talking about to defend the Reaper. Always make these no matter what. And we see a second barracks. So now we already know it's going to be a bio-based build. It's going to be like more marine heavy in general. Because we're going for a fast third here, we can do like 1 inject in our main, and we can do like a larva, a creep tumor at our third base. And then we're going to be making a few extra queens now to cover ourselves, just to be extra safe here, because this is kind of how it'll go. If we're delaying gas, we need something that's going to defend ourselves, and we're definitely not going to make mass slow Lings. So queens are gonna rotate well here, because not only is it going to give us good creep spread, but it's also going to give us the ability to defend ourselves while we're in the early stages of the game before we have roaches. And we're just making drones. So,
How do you make the third queen?
I made it as soon as it's done. Literally the second the hatchery was done. What I'm doing right now, my goal right now is to keep every hatchery pumping queens as much as I can and make drones. That's the whole goal. Larva does take the priority here. And then, so larva first and then queen second. And then as soon as we have, as soon as our natural is fully saturated, we start 2 gases at the natural. And we're still making drones. And we're just, every single new queen that's not at the hatcheries, so like every additional queen that gets made, that queen comes off the hatcheries and just goes and throws down a tumor somewhere. Just keep spreading the creep all over the place. And now that we have gas just started mining, we're going to start a roach warren. And you can see our, like, if you look at the drone count right now, guaranteed our drone count is looking fucking solid compared to the Terran. And this is because we have a third base running so fast.
Yeah, 49 to 31.
And then now we're going to start a layer. With our first 100 gas, we will start a layer. And then we will, with our next gas now, we should be expecting an attack somewhat soon. Because this is like right around 5 minutes is usually when you should be expecting a Terran to start being aggressive to you. We're going to start making roaches. Because our roach warren is also about to finish. So this is where our roach warren's finishing right when we want to make roaches. So it's perfect. It doesn't have like this waste of resources too early. We're going to make about, like, let's just be safe about it. Let's make about 8 roaches. And then make sure we keep injecting the hatcheries and stuff like that. But now we have 8 roaches. And now once we have 8 roaches, let's take our main base, make 2 evo chambers, and make all of our gases. So two evo chambers, or wherever you want to put them. Doesn't have to be the main. 2 evos, and then just all your gases remaining. And now we just went back to making drones as well. We can kind of stop making queens here. We have 7 queens roaming, and we have 3 queens injecting, so we have 10 in total. And now we have a lot of creep spread, so look at that. We can see the attack on the bottom of our base. Regroup our units together here, while we're also trying to fix our gas saturation and just make sure everything's running good here. So all our gases is fully saturated. Go attack the army. He's retreating, he's evacuating, he's getting out. So now the attacks dealt with. We're going to take a 4th base now. And now we're going to start upgrades on melee carapace. We're going to start a baneling nest. We're going to start a macro hatch in the main, because now we have a moment to do this. And we're also going to start a hydra den. So now this build is rotating into Ling Bane Hydra. And we're not even getting roach speed. Like, we don't care about roach speed. It's not something we're going to be going for a long time. It's only to defend ourselves from the initial harass. And now all we're focusing on is Ling Bane Hydra. So now we're also going to get metabolic boost. And we can rally our hatcheries to like the middle of our base, and we can start making mass zergling. And because, again, we're not going to go mass roaches here. We're not worrying about, oh, we need to make roaches forever. Oh my god. Roaches are just the transition that allowed us to be greedy. Okay, so this guy's, he's multi-pronging me, so let's, you know, deal with that. Leave some units at my third, like maybe our queens, and send our units back to the main. Fix my saturation. And if a Terran plays like this to you, what you can do is you can just leave some units around. Like, we're just gonna leave like a few roaches in the main, just for now. It's fine. We can start making some hydras. Saturation, we need one more drone on the third, but otherwise, and one more drone on the main. Otherwise, we're looking really good. We can rip off one of our creep starting queens. We can rip it off and go send it to the macro hatch that we just made. So now we have 4 queens injecting. We are making hydras. Ling speed is about to finish. 1-1's about to finish. Baneling speed's on the way. Hydra upgrades are on the way. All these upgrades are on the way. And now we can start making some Banes as well. And what our goal here is we're gonna go for like this, like 180 supply timing. Something around there, right? Because we want, that's what the, you know, we want to make something happen with the army we're making here in a second. There's the roaches in the main base guarding it really well. That's nice. We got 1-1 just finished. 2-2 is now on the way. And we're sending out a scout for our Lings just to go see what's going on. See where we want to attack from. And we can see there's a third base for Terran. He's taking a 4th base as well. And there's no other. So we got a Terran on 3, going on 4 bases soon. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start moving out across the map, and we're going to make one more round of units that's going to not be added into my army, but instead what it's going to do is it's going to defend my base in case he attacks me at the same time. So I just made one more round of like 40 Lings or 30 Lings as I got ready to move out here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rally my hatcheries. Before I take this fight, I'm going to rally all my hatcheries to my 4th base. I'm going to look at my base and go, are we oversaturated? And we are. I'm going to make a round of drones for my 4th base, so now we're at like 80 drones. I'll make a couple Banes defensively in case we get attacked, and I'm also going to make some Banes aggressively to set up this attack. It's like...
When did you decide on the infestation thing?
Because I started 2-2. 2-2, and now we should be starting a hive. So the upgrades flow to 3-3. And now Baneling speed's done, Hydra upgrades are done. Let's just go for a timing. Let's see what happens. I'm just A-moving this right now. I'm not worrying too much about it. We're going to go back to my base and inject. We can take another base. We were getting dropped at the same time. This is why we left units defensively. And now making another round of Hydras. We actually broke him, which is great. And we're just macroing. We're literally trying to keep our count of units around 20 Hydras and just mass Ling Bane. Okay, so let's focus on our army for a second here. We can maybe kill one of these command centers. If not, we already did a lot of damage either way. And now, you know, that doesn't look like we're going to kill these command centers. He's going to get within tank range most likely before we do that. But we're still just making injects. We're still making Lings. We have a nice healthy... Oh, we might kill it? No, we're not going to kill it. It's okay. We'll just back up, regroup my army. We can take a second to creep spread. And, you know, focus on that a little bit. And then our Hydra count right now is at 20. It's actually at 22, so that's plenty. Like, it's 2 over. Ideally, you want to be around 20, but 22 is totally fine. Making mass Lings. Our hive's done. This is why we started the infestation pit. We can start 3-3 right now. We can start adrenal glands on Lings. And let's set up on the map to get ready to attack again. So we're going to make more Banes once again. And we're going to once again do the same thing. We're going to rally our hatcheries to the center of our base. And we're going to make Lings as we set up this fight that are not going to come across the map. They're going to be waiting in case we get countered. And just before we do the fight as well, we're going to look at our bases and go, natural, 4 drones extra. 3rd base, 2 drones extra. 4th base good. 5th base unsaturated. Send all those extra drones to the 5th base, and let's go do another timing.
How do you set up for late game?
So we would just start...
I mean, he's already broken. But...
Yeah, we could start a Spire right now and just get ready to go Broodlords. You could go Spire or Ultralisk Cavern. I would say Spire is more universally good. But right now would be like the great time to make a Spire. The perfect time to make a Spire is right when you start a Hive. Because a Spire and a Hive have the same build time. And then you can immediately start a Greater Spire afterwards. But yeah, there you go. We just killed this 3rd off of a nice Hydra Ling Bane comp. Our Ling Bane is 2-2 going on 3-3. Upgrades are looking solid. And now we can just save these Hydras for a second because he's got a nice tank wall. And our supply is still basically maxed. Because all we're doing is we're making sure our macro doesn't slip off when we take fights. So we have another round of Banes we just made defensively. And we're going to do the same thing. We just grabbed all of our new Banes. Or sorry, all of our new units we just made. We'll check our bases for economy. We send some drones from my natural to my 5th base. We're good. 4th base is... Or sorry, the 3rd base is getting oversaturated. Send that over. And let's take another expansion now because we're going to start mining out even more again. And let's take a moment here because we have control of the game to creep spread. Make another round of units to be defensive because it's just like a little bit of extra while we're moving out. And let's set up for another timing again. Just keep repeating this process. As long as you don't let your macro slip and you know you're like, oh well, I haven't done anything to my economy to fix it in the longest time and now we're mining like shit. As long as you keep it running well, you'll always crush them like this again and again. And we're taking another timing. And now we'll wait for the Banes to get a little closer. And then now just A move his wall. It doesn't really matter. And during it, I'm going to make units again. And we're going to stay, our supply is going to stay super high. And you just repeat this process and you will break the Terran all the time. If you don't neglect your macro, you'll always break them. Up to a certain point. Like, I would say playing just like that will get you to, like, Masters 1.
Okay.
Just because the build, it flows. It never has, like, a stopping point.
Right.
Alright.
Alright. Got it.
So, about what we just did, is there any... I know I was talking the whole time. It's because I was just trying to like, talk through the thoughts, but...
Perfect sense. I can hear you. There's no lag.
Alright. Is there anything about the build that you have a question about right now?
No.
Okay.
If something comes up, I'll just ask you.
Alright. If I could recommend anything about what just happened, though, I would say really quickly before we start one more game here, go to replays, and then get that replay we just did and just rename it to like time trial or whatever you want to call it. I would recommend saving it though, so it's something you can compare your own builds to in the future, so you don't lose it. All right, and then I will set up one more for. I'll watch you again between you and Mr. Ultra Hugs. I'll just mute myself on the call, so you don't got to worry about it. You don't got to leave or anything. And then we'll talk about it after. And yeah, man.
Oh.
Unless
Actually, I'd rather you not mute yourself. I'm having no issues now.
So. Okay, sure. That's fine. I'll stay on the call, dude.
Alright. I like the sound of your voice.
Alright, dude. Do you want me to kind of like talk you through it and like just kind of give you checkpoints as to like what?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, if I'm straying, just,
Alright. I'll try to keep it short and simple. I won't talk nonstop. I'll just give you like, I'll be like, alright, this is time you make queens, make a drones. I'll just give you reminders.
Yeah.
Alright, dude. You ready?
Yep.
Alright, Ultra Hugs ready? Alright, when he's ready, I'll start it up. Alright, here we go, dude. Here we go. And yeah, guys, this is a diamond, mid diamond, like diamond 2, diamond 3, coaching lesson.
So this build will work for Protoss too? Except for like cheese or...
Against Protoss, it would work up to the point when you go Ling Bane. Alright, actually, you know what? Yeah, it would. It would work against Protoss. But against Protoss, the one thing I would say that's different is you should get roach speed. Because if you get all in by like charge lots, you're going to need it. Protoss is a little different. So, yeah. Same build, just get roach speed, and if they're all-inning you, make more roaches, and you're fine.
Got it.
But yeah, just remember, we're looking at like a 17 hatch, and like an 18 pool, and then a 19 hatch.
Got it. When do you send the drone? Like 175?
So, yeah, when you want to take your 17 hatch, right around 180, 175 is perfect. Then obviously the 18 pool doesn't matter because you're going to build it next to the mineral line. And then you want to send your 19 third hatch drone right when you make your 19th drone out of the egg. So just pulling off the mineral line.
Okay. Got it.
And make a drone and then send a drone. Oh, you grabbed 2. There you go, perfect. And then the goal here now, once you have all your buildings thrown down, is going to be make 2 queens out of your first 2 hatches and 4 lings. Also make drones again now too. Sorry. But make 4 lings as soon as your pool's done and 2 queens, and then try to non-stop make drones and queens out of all your hatcheries. And watch your supply so you don't block. That's the goal for the next like 2 minutes. Also, make your overlord after you make the queens. Next time you do this, because the hatchery finishing will give you enough supply. And then make 4 lings, and then just make drones.
So you make 4 lings.
You make 4 lings right when you make the queens, like right when the pool's done. Because if the Reaper comes to your natural, it'll be the lings will zone the Reaper until the queens are done, and you won't lose any drones. And then the last thing is be careful with your Overlord too. That's scouting. I would say, yeah, perfect. Just put it over like the cliff or something, and we're good. And then just make drones and queens, man. And then when you hit like 16, 17, 18 drones or so on your natural, as soon as it starts being fully saturated, make 2 gases at your natural and keep making drones. So you're almost there. And keep making queens. Keep making overlords.
From all hatches, right?
Yep, all like literally you're gonna make like 10 queens. The goal is to get to 10 queens as quick as you can. And then re-rally your 3rd base to your 3rd as well. And this is also around the time when you're going to make your gas. And make your roach warren when you start mining the gas. So don't make it yet.
Okay.
Just, yeah, like just always remember, as soon as you start the gas, like mining, that's when you make the roach warren.
Okay. I got blocked.
Yeah, it's all good. It's, you're good now. And then just keep making queens. And now saturate your gases and make a roach warren and keep making drones. And then when you have moments to spare too, just try to spread your creep. Because spreading your creep, it makes it really easy to set up a defense really easy with your queens if you have creep all over the place. And now with your first 100 gas, you're going to take a layer. So I would actually say cancel the queen in your main and make the layer in your main right now. Just try to not, or your natural's fine. Yeah, perfect. It doesn't matter. Just try to not delay your layer. That's an important one. Also, you haven't started the roach warren yet. Remember to always start the roach warren when the gas starts mining.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Overall, you're still doing fine, dude. You're still fine. And then your queen count right now is at 7. So you're going to look to make about 3 more. And then you're done with the queens. And the goal is to leave 1 per hatch. And then, you know, keep injecting. Now, the other goal is to keep making drones until you're fully saturated on 3 bases. And that's when you're going to start making your... and then the times out perfectly with the roach warren, too, because now your roach warren's about to finish. So this is when you want to make roaches. Your drones are looking pretty good. You would want to start roaches now because you're about to get attacked. And then grab your queens. I would say put every queen that is not injecting and is in a control group together. Like, it could be with your roaches. It's fine. So just make roaches and grab your queens. And you made 7 roaches. That's totally fine. And now try to take a 4th. Or so deal with the attack first. Run away if you have to regroup your units. Your roach warren being a little late is the only reason why this is having a problem right now.
I see the point of it.
Yeah, like if you had the roaches right when he showed up first with your queens all together, you would have crushed that timing.
Yeah.
We can do one more if you want. Just restart again. Try again.
Yeah, that works.
All right.
Oh, I did GG.
And then from the point where you were, as soon as you make the roaches, that's also when you would want to start the 4th base. And that's also when you start Baneling Nest, Hydra Den, double Evos, and then you just switch, and also your Macro Hatch, and that's when you switch gears into Ling Hydra Bane.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I'll give you the checkpoints again and stuff like that this time around, and this will be the last one, my dude.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I got supply block.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's your first time
And
doing that build.
as soon as because I always surprising how fast you left early on.
Yo, thank you for the bit, Mr. Food. All right, you good to go?
Good.
All right, see if Hugs is ready. Yo, Blub, Landon, guys, thank you very much for the sub. Sorry, I am doing coaching lessons, so my bad. But much love, boys. I appreciate the support of the stream. You guys are the best. This is the last game of the coaching lesson here, and then we'll jump into the other challenge stuff. But yeah, from like last game to this game, I can already, like, you know, from the layer game I watched to the game we just watched just a second ago, it was already a massive improvement to the opener of his build. That build is just so much more efficient for opening roaches. Yep.
Cool.
Are you I think I just noticed that. Are you going 14 and then Overlord? Or was it? So if you do that all the time, do 13 Overlord instead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at 13 Overlord. The reason why is because if you go 14 Overlord, you actually have 3 larvae on the hatchery for like 4 seconds, and that it actually stops you from generating larvae, which it hurts you in the long run.
Okay.
So always 13 Overlord that for sure. And if you ever for some reason make a mistake and you're like, ah, damn, I made a 14 Overlord, you have to make a gas and then make a drone and cancel it to not mess your larva up.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, so 19, pull a drone, go to your 3rd. Perfect. And then something I would recommend too, just for getting started with the build, is okay. So remember, right now you make drones, and then yeah, and then four lings and 2 queens right when the pool's done.
Okay.
But with the thing I was gonna say with your scouting overlord, your first one, you could shift click near his ramp, like the bottom of his ramp, and then shift click his cliff, just so you can also see what building he opens with, like if it's a reactored barracks or something.
Right.
All right, so right now is your natural is going to finish. It's going to give you supply. Make a 2nd queen. Make 4 lings, and then make an overlord. So you made the overlord too early again this time. I just noticed that. So you always just like you're going to supply block, but then the natural finishes, and then you make 2 queens and 4 lings. Because if you make the overlord first, you actually can't afford it all at once. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
So always make the overlord after that. And just keep making drones and queens. I would say just move the Reaper and put your drones in the middle line. Go back to your, there you go, perfect. And then you can make a tumor at your natural and inject your main. And then just keep trying to make, good job on killing the Reaper. Just keep trying to make drones and queens.
Okay.
And rally your 3rd base. Always do this too. Rally your 3rd to your 3rd right now. Because you don't want to have your drones all running around for no reason. So this is, yeah, there you go, perfect. And then take your 3rd queen and like send it, or sorry, your natural queen, and send it down to your 3rd to make a new tumor at the bottom of your 3rd. This will be a pattern you do that'll just make your bases really easy to defend later on, and you can really get your creep going crazy fast. And just keep injecting, making drones, making queens, making overlords.
So gases and roaches.
Yeah, you start gases at full saturation of natural, and then you start a roach warren. So you can start your gases, honestly, in about the next, like, 5 seconds, because your drones are about to spawn. It's perfect. And then when you start mining the gas, start a roach warren. The roach one's too early, but just leave it. Just leave it. Don't cancel it. But that is too early. It's because your roach warren, if you make it when you start mining gas, it'll finish right when you need to make them.
Right. And I have trouble, like, resetting my...
Resetting your what, sorry?
The queens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just try your... Like, the only queen that should be going for, like, tumors really fast is your natural queen with this build. But otherwise, every time a queen spawns out of the hatchery, just make it inject the hatchery and then have it go join the tumor queens.
Right. Okay.
And as long as you have queens constantly being made, you'll never really miss injects. And then rally your hatcheries to your third. You already did. Okay, good. Perfect.
Alright, roaches done.
Yep, and then make a layer first, and then make roaches.
There.
And keep making queens too, whenever as much as you can. And keep spreading your creep every time you have a moment to spare for that too. And a good tip as well, whenever you make overlords, when you make one, right-click the egg when you make it to like an open airspace. Like we're talking like places where marines can't kill it, but you can still see drops coming. So it'll make it to where you don't have to do it later. All right, your other gases are fine. As long as you have 8 roaches. How many roaches do you have right now? You have okay. Yeah, make like 8 roaches and then you'll be good. It's all good, dude. Don't worry. I know it's overwhelming. It's a lot to take in for your first experience of the build.
Yeah.
And grab your queens too. And this is why it's really nice if you grab your queens whenever they spawn. Like you inject and then grab them because you'd already have your units grouped up for this drop.
Oh my gosh.
Keep making queens. Keep making roaches. Okay, no more roaches now. You have plenty. Just try your best to like make sure you're grouped up when you take this fight, and then go back to. This is the next step. When you feel safe, make one. This is your last round of queens. No more queens now. Make a macro hatch. Make double evo. Make a baneling nest. And make a hydra den. And then fix your entire economy. Like get your gases all saturated, and get your minerals perfectly saturated. 16 and 333. So I got double evo. Just need a hydra den and then your economy. And you got a 4th base. This is perfect. Okay, so now just your economy. And then start, as soon as you get your economy, start zergling speed. And then that's also when you're going to start 1-1 on melee carapace. So your third needs 2 more drones, otherwise perfect. Your main needs 5 more drones and mineral lines and double gas. Okay, now 7 more, because obviously the drones get sacrificed for the gas.
Yeah. Blah, blah.
And then whenever you have a moment to spare, just spread your creep, perfect. Okay, you're getting attacked. And there's attacking your main. This is when the the spread of the overlords earlier would help a lot too, because you would see the drop coming before it happens.
Right.
And then whenever Terrans start doing this to you, like we talked about in the game I played earlier, this is when you just want to leave some units in your main. Like you'd go defend it, but then just leave some there, and then have other units. Perfect, you're doing it already. You're leaving units at your third. But you did take a lot of drone losses there, so you're going to need to replace that now. Just the full saturation is always the priority here. And then once you're also saturating, throw down upgrades on your baneling nest and your hydra den. Inject all your hatcheries. Make your drones. And we're looking to try to aim for about like 80 drones here. And right now we're currently at 66. Don't forget to leave a queen as well in your main to inject. There, perfect. You can leave 2 in your main even. So because you have 2 hatches now, just 1 per hatch. Your goal for this should be like 4 queens injecting now. And then oh, sorry. I know it's kind of overwhelming, but also don't forget your baneling speed on your baneling nest.
Yep.
And then get ready now as well to start 2-2 on your evos. It's gonna happen in about the next like 7 seconds. So just keep making drones as well. Okay, that's enough drones. You have plenty of drones now. Now literally 20 hydras. Your goal is about 20 of them, and then mass Ling Bane. And you can also start 2-2 on your evos. And then when you start 2-2, that's you started an infestation pit already, but which is fine. Just know that 2-2 is when you start infestation pit, because that it times it perfectly for 3-3.
Yep.
Nice save. And just yeah, just keep making your hydras and lings and stuff, and presto, and you good. The biggest thing to focus on right now is don't worry about attacking right now. I know a lot of people get in this situation and they're like, I got to attack, I got to attack. Spread your creep. Make sure your drones are good, and your drones are fine, so you're good on that. But you need to saturate your make sure your base saturation is good, like you're kind of over in the main, you know, stuff like that. Just make sure that your base is flowing well, and then make your army. Just be patient about it, and start a hive as well whenever you can. So like when the infestation pit's done, you always want to start that hive immediately. And then just know as well, the other paired thing that happens is when you start the hive, you start a spire at the same time. Because you can start a greater spire when the hive is done and get ready to go brood lords if the game can't end on Ling Hydra Bane. So spire, perfect, and just make you have Hydra count currently is at 8. You're gonna need like 12 more. Okay, you got 20 more. You're fine. That's plenty. No more Hydras now. It's a little bit much, but it's okay. And then just make mass Lings and Banes, and you can get ready to go attack him. And remember, before you attack, the one more thing you got to do is just send out like one roach on each side of the map, like one roach along the bottom bases and one roach along the top, and you want to see where his bases are, so you don't take a bad fight. Okay, deal with this first. Deal with this first. I would say you're really looking for some Banes here in this fight as well. So.
Oh, I forgot to get the Bane.
Yeah. Because if you remember what I said earlier, Mass Hydras is kind of a trap. Like, they're really good at supporting, but they're actually really awful at main unit. Against Terran.
Right.
Alright, so your hive is done. I know you're feeling kind of pressured here. A great way to do this, here's a tip. If you feel pressured and you don't want to take this fight, start a new base on the other side of the map and evacuate and let this base die. It gives you time to just prepare. Because right now you should also be starting 3-3 and adrenal glands.
Might be okay.
Alright, if you're going to go for it, commit, I guess. Good luck. Keep macroing during the fight. If you don't macro during a fight, this is how you die. Don't ever make roaches, though. You should never make roaches from this point on.
Did I make roaches?
Yeah, you made 20 roaches, but at this point, you never want to use them again. You're actually gonna slightly win this fight, but yeah, only ever like try your best to maintain like 20 Hydras here, and then only ever make Ling Bane.
Got it.
Yeah, because roaches are just like, they're gonna fuck you over pretty bad now. So next thing you should do as well. Here's a good thing to do. The game is stabilized. I would say start 3-3 and adrenal in your main base, and then throw down like 6 corruptors or 8 corruptors, so you can make some brood lords. All right, that's plenty of corruptors now. So get adrenal glands going on your spawning pool. And then that upgrade is amazing. It's so important. And then here's what I want you to do. And it might sound crazy, but I want you to attack his base with your roaches and let them die.
Okay.
Because your roaches are the biggest waste of supply right now. So now you're just going to replace now with all those corruptors will become brood lords, and you make nothing but Ling Bane. And while you're waiting for this all to happen, spread your creep. And keep injecting your bases and make sure your saturation is good. Like your third is super oversaturated right now. So that should always be the priority. Like your base always takes priority over his base. You should only ever feel comfortable about attacking him if your base is flowing well. Like you're like, all right, our economy's good. And if like you have good creep spread, these attacks don't show up as they hit your hatchery. You'd see them coming well in advance. So it's way less panicky. So just make your broods perfect. You can start new expansion somewhere else, like on the south side, I guess. And then just wait for the broods. Don't attack. Just wait for the broods.
Yep.
And make some bait. They're perfect. Okay, cool. And your roaches actually killed the base, which is awesome. They're doing great.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing.
And then yeah, do not attack all your army together. Let the broodlords go by themselves.
Yep.
And then as soon as he commits the bio to the broods, then attack the bio with your ground army.
Uh-oh, shit. This is what I'm like.
It's okay. It's okay. Now I'd say you could probably go. Your hydras will clean up those liberators easy peasy. You're doing it. You're doing it, 1B.
Yeah.
Keep macroing though. Don't stop making units. That's the most important part. Don't get too tunnel vision in the fight. Alright, so at this stage now, this could be when you go into Broodlord and Corruptor, which is kind of what you're already doing, and then Ling Bane to support it. So no more Hydras now either. Just Broodlord. So yeah, you are making Hydras, but I know you made them before I just said that. But this is the final stage of it. You can just go Broodlord, Corruptor, Ling Bane. And Roach Hydra is now obsolete. It just got you here to this point. If the game is still going. So be careful though, don't get too impatient. I would say you need to back up just for a sec. Worry about your base really fast. If you take a fight when you only have 4 broods, you very likely will lose the game. So back up, make more broods, make more Corruptor. Make sure your economies are good. Like you have your third base is oversaturated, your naturals being fixed, your main is oversaturated. Start upgrades on your Spire. I would honestly pull your army back right now. This is super scary. Just give yourself a second to where you're not going to throw the game.
Alright,
So economy number 1. Your main looks good. Natural looks good. Third is oversaturated.
I just don't have any bases to send my stuff.
It's all good. It's all good. Just send them to even building bases. And then get gases going at your bases too. Your new bases. And then secondly, spread your creep.
Okay.
And once you do that, make like 8 more broodlords right now as well. I want you to go to like 11 or 12 broods with your current corruptors, and then make more corruptors too. So now you can see your maxed on supply. This is what I want you to do again. Take your hydras and move his base. Get rid of the hydras. And then you're going to replace these hydras with corruptors. Because if he's going liberator and you're going broodlord, corruptor will make your life easier. Your hydras are coming back. And then your Spire. Start a Carapace upgrade on your Spire. And now be patient. Make your resupply into like, try to get like 12 corruptor, right? Or like 14 corruptor. Right now you only have 7. So make like 7 more. Okay, that's good. And then now make nothing but Lings and Banes. Try to have like 30 Banes and like just a bunch of Lings supporting your army for this upcoming fight. And now get ready. Here we go. It's coming. So just yeah, Broodlords lead, and then as soon as he commits the bio, commit your ground army. The corruptors are a little. Well, okay, this guy. So many ghosts actually sniping you. It's next time around. You can just remake the army, but next time around, I would say obviously the simple answer here is we need overseers as well.
Okay.
So it was kind of panicky because he was attacking you before you were ready.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't see the ghosts.
Yeah. So for now, fix your economy one more time. Gases, perfect. Gases as well on the south left base. And then get those mining. Make more broodlords again. You just make all your current corruptors into broods. And then make sure you can also saturate the gases while they're. Oh, you already are. You're saturating while it's building. Good. Make sure the bottom gases get saturated right now. And then finish making that last corruptor or broodlord. And here's what I want you to do. This will keep him busy. Make a shitload of lings right now. Just make mass lings. And take your current lings you have and just shift click them on a move around the map. Just like go on the top side or the bottom side. Just launch an attack with just your Lings, and then forget about it. Don't ever do them again. And if they die, it doesn't matter. Who cares? You're just trying to buy time. And now, wait before you go. Don't go. You need a Corruptor. Oh god, your Broodlords are... Oh no!
Oh, Jesus.
It's okay, dude. But you're gonna need to make Broodlords again.
Yeah, what?
It's okay. You're like, don't get too down on yourself about what's happening. You were so close to making it work.
Yeah. Well, I saved that at least.
All right, so your drones are oversaturating your third again. All right, this I don't know. This game is it's starting to get overwhelming now because you're stuck on defense exactly. So it's gonna start getting a little bit intense here.
Yeah, it usually happens. Like, oh, I guess my macro's behind.
Yeah, you are for sure a little bit behind just in general. Once you do this build a few more times, it'll constantly keep getting a little bit faster, because you get more comfortable with it as time goes on. My biggest tip to you is watch my example game that I did for you, and just for future reference, and make sure you pay very, very close attention to the game clock and when I'm doing something, and then pay attention to your own games when you're playing them, and it's like it should be a checkpoint for you. Like, it should be like, all right, at 7 minutes, ViBE is at this supply, or he's doing this phase of the build.
It's crazy. I've never hit
You've never hit 200 supply?
200 APM.
Oh, sorry. I was like, what the?
So like I'm like, man, I'm stuck. This is like my.
That was good though. You were like there was obviously some parts where I was like, all right, you're falling a little bit behind here, but the general game plan, you're on the right track. Just know that in the stage of the obviously what I said a second ago really does apply. Make sure you pay attention to what the timings of when I do stuff and try to keep up with that. But the big thing for you is when you're in the Ling Bane Roach, that whole phase of the game, roaches are defensive. It's only defensive roaches, and that's it. And you'd never make them again after like your initial 8. And if you make them properly on time, you should always have roaches before the timing hits you. If you do like the timings we talked about, which is like the fully saturated natural, you start your gas. Gas starts getting mined, and as soon as you start mining it, you start the roach warren. Roach warren's done. You make 8 roaches. You'll always be totally fine. The next thing about it is really, really, really try your best to always fill in dead time with your build, like time when you're not doing anything with creep spread. Because one thing I will say that is one of your big weaknesses that I saw is your creep spread is very underwhelming. Like it's just not really being spread very much at all.
Yeah.
So if you work on that more, like it does a lot, because not only does it just give you mobility with your units, which makes it easier to defend, it also makes the game way less stressful because you see him attacking you every time way before he attacks you. So you're like, oh, he's coming to my third. Okay, I have like 30 seconds to prepare for that. Instead of like, oh shit, he's here. Oh god, oh he's in my main now. You know what I mean? Like it just makes it way less stress inducing to have your creep everywhere.
Like pretty basic when I had it.
Yeah. And the perfect way to creep spread as well, like I was saying before, is your natural queen automatically becomes a creep spreader with this kind of a build. But every single queen after they inject, as long as you have a queen being built in that hatchery, rip that queen off the hatchery that just injected it and make it a creep spreader as well. Just grab it and add it to your creep spreaders. And you're going to keep following this process until you have like 7 creep spreaders and then 3 injectors. So 10 queens in total.
A lot of my mental causes get that. So I was like, oh my god, I kept blending the hotkey.
Yeah.
Hatcheries.
It's definitely going to feel like kind of messy for a while, but give it like a week or two of just practicing this, and it will start feeling like you're going to start crushing people, because you'll start adjusting to it, and it'll start feeling good.
Okay.
And
so
then
ghosts, you have to basically they've destroyed.
If you have here's like infestors are advanced. I would say you can use infestors once you get really comfortable with this. But if you just this is the kind of the idea here. If you have broodlords versus ghost and you have overseers with your broodlords, what you can do is you can have you can let's just say you have 6 overseers, okay? Or 5. You can have a couple of them in your control group, so whenever you attack with them, they're going to move forward and give you vision. And then make sure, this is a big tip, don't put every single overseer you have in the same control group. Leave like 2 of them out of a control group entirely, and what you do with them is you right-click them on a Broodlord. So they will just follow a Broodlord forever. And what this does is if your overseers always commit forward, some of them, they might die sometimes, it will happen, but if you have overseers following the Broodlords, they would never die. And they always will be behind the Broodlords to give vision if ghosts run forward to snipe you. And the big thing that goes with this as well is whenever the bio comes forward, you send Ling Bane forward. That's you have to counter his move forward with your move forward. And if he pulls his bio back towards the tanks, you pull back with Ling Bane. He comes forward again, you go forward again. You always have to counter his movements with your movement of your Ling Bane. Because if you let his bio come forward and your Ling Bane just chills, your Broodlords could very well die, like they did.
Okay, yeah, because I saw that. I'm like, well, I can't even do that. Okay, I need to have the overseer. Got it.
Yeah, and then yeah, like if you send your Ling Bane forward on top of his bio when he comes forward, not only are his tanks gonna shoot his own bio because of the Broodling splash damage, like the tanks are gonna be shooting that, but your Banelings are gonna just start getting a way easier time just jumping on his bio too, and you'll just pop all the ghosts or all the Marines or whatever, easy peasy. And then the last thing I'll say, this is transition goals, okay? Number 1, roaches. 8 roaches to defend yourself while you be greedy. Number 2, you're transitioning to Ling Bane Hydra. Ling Bane Hydra should be something you max out on, and the goal is about 20 Hydras with the rest of the supply in Ling Bane. While doing this, you're teching up to Hive, you're going into your 3-3, Spire, all that shit. If the game is not over yet, like my game kind of was, if you remember, if the game continues and you're like, okay, well, he's not dead and I need to transition. Once you go Broodlords, you can go Broodlord, Hydra, Ling Bane at first, but once you have enough gas to make Corruptors after having Broodlords, you should aim to get rid of your Hydras and just go Corruptor, Broodlord, Ling Bane.
Okay. Alright, yeah, awesome. So,
Nice.
That's good for me, so I guess I'll hop off.
Yeah, well, do you have any other questions at all? Do you have any questions before we stop?
Question. I mean, I have a lot to work on at the moment, so I think I'm good for now.
Okay.
I might do another one.
All right, man. Sounds good. I guess just work on it. Really biggest tip again one more time is watch the replay and compare your times to my times. That is going to help you so much if you actually do that. Because it gives you checkpoints. And yeah, just try to follow the build as best you can, man.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'll hop off.
All right.
I want to watch you play Keep Testing.
All right, dude. Thank you, man. Have a good rest of your night, dude.
All right, easy. Bye.
Later, man. All right, boys. That wraps up the coaching lesson. If you guys liked it, make sure you go check out some more. I do these. I've done a lot of these, so if you guys check out my YouTube channel, there's plenty of these. There's replay analysis videos as well, which are very similar to coaching. And yeah, man, check it out. Thank you guys. See you next time. Later.